next video that I'm doing the research on, and I'm not quite done yet, but I'm hoping to have it ready for Monday, is the Jeffrey Dahmer, which was also very, very requested. Don't worry, if you requested a case, I have it on my list, but if you want to remind me of what you want to watch next, I would appreciate if you leave that in the comments down below. I will be traveling in the month of September, so I'm going to be a little bit ambitious, and I'm going to try to do the research a new case every day and finish up the longer ones, in the meantime, so I can have new cases for you guys even while I'm away. The good news for you guys, well, I think it's good news. I don't know, I'm excited about it, but the good news about this trip is that I'm gonna bring you something different. Don't get me wrong, I love the beach and the background that you guys are probably looking at right now if you're looking at your phone, but I am gonna be in this magical place that it's, I don't know, I can't even describe how beautiful this place is. Well, I'm gonna be in a lot of places, so hopefully I will be taking videos of this amazing fairy tale looking areas, and I'm gonna try to slow it down and make it perfect for ASMR, or my kind of perfect, not really perfect, but oh well. So that will be coming, I don't know, maybe starting October. I'll have all those clips ready, and we'll have something to change every once in a while, because I just really been wanting to do that for a while, and since we're going on this trip, we're gonna do it. Thanks everyone in my Patreon page, you guys rock. Thank you so much for the support. You're amazing, and I have a new case for you a new audio. Remember that I'm not uploading videos in my Patreon because it goes directly to the Tingles app, and I want it to be exclusive for Patreon. So there will be a new audio, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. It will be up this weekend. So now let's get started. Oh, by the way, if you ever want to skip my long intros, which I get called for every other video, you can double click on your phone in the right side of your phone. Is that right? Yeah. With your right hand, you can double click it, and you can always skip ahead. You don't really have to listen to my ramble if you are one of those that don't really care for it. I get it. No hard feelings. Now, let's talk about Jessica Ridgeway. She is a 10-year-old that lives with her mom at this time in Westminster, Colorado. Now, I am starting this video like this because you're gonna know a little bit more about the background and her parents and stuff like that. So, at the time, she was living with her mom in Westminster, Colorado. She was a super cute girl with deep blue eyes and purple glasses, which was her favorite color, by the way. Jessica was described as a joyous girl who was loved by her teachers and classmates. Her teachers at Witt Elementary describe her as the kind of girl teachers want to have in their classroom. She was easy to teach and a good example to her classmates. She was in the 5th grade at the time, and she was part of a cheerleader program that they had at her school, which I found was very interesting being in elementary school, but pretty cool. She used to tell everyone that when she grew up, she was going to be a cheerleader in high school. That was her goal, it's something pretty common for, a girl like her, happy and excited with this. In a notebook in her desk, she kept one of her assignments that was about punctuation sentences, well, grammar in general. In some of the examples she wrote, watch out for strangers was an exclamatory sentence. Do not play in the park alone. Watch out for strangers. So she was not only trying to show how well she could use all this punctuation, but she was also talking about things that she learned at school, such as those. Now, her parents divorced, and she was in custody of her mom at this time, and her dad, however, lived out of the state. I don't think she ever lived with her dad, but I'm not sure if she lived in the same house when they were married, but apparently at the time they were divorced and she was with her mom. Her mom, however, she had to work nights, so she would come back to the house at 7 a.m., spend some time with Jessica until she left for school, and then go to bed so she could be rested. So by the time that Jessica made it back home from school, they could spend some time together. Jessica was the kind of girl that I think she was a little bit more mature for her age compared to regular 10-year-old girls. Maybe it was because of the divorce, maybe it was just because the way she was. I can't really tell you, that's the kind of thing that, you just have to go through a few things and then sometimes it kind of molds you. Maybe she was that way, but she was a very responsible girl and she knew she had to step up. Her mom was working very long hours to support her, and she wanted that responsibility to help her out as much as she could, and she knew that one of the things she needed to worry about was to be in school and to be in school in time. So she asked for an alarm clock, and even she would set it every night. She wouldn't forget to set it every night. And so she would wake up herself, get ready, grab breakfast, and just, be ready for school in time and get everything done before then. I also feel like when you're an only child, and again, it varies, but some only childs feel a little bit more responsible and feel a little bit more for their parents, especially when they are divorced. So if she was seeing that her mom, was doing her best and, to support her and everything, I just felt like she wanted to give back, do something nice. And we also know at this time that her father, who lived out of state, wasn't paying child support, and her parents were going through court for that. So I'm sure there was a lot of money talk around in the house, and I'm sure that she felt very appreciative of her mom. On October 5th, 2012, it was a typical morning around the house. Jessica woke up to her alarm and got ready. Before she left, she peeled an orange with her mom for lunch, or to take to school, I should say, and she had breakfast with her mom. Then she called a friend, the one that walks to school with her, and he doesn't pick up, but his father does, and he tells her that that's okay, that he was going to wait for her, and that they could meet to go to school. Jessica, right at that time, she walks out the door, and her mom watches her as she walks away out the door. Little did she know that was the last time that she was going to see her daughter alive. That morning, there was a lot of snow around in the area. It has been snowing a lot lately, and even on that day, it was snowing. It wasn't a storm or anything. And remember, this is Colorado, so people is used to this. And so Jessica scooped up a handful of fresh snow and packed them into a snowball. Something very typical. I do that myself, and I'm 35. So Jessica never made it to her friend's house that morning, or where they were meeting for that matter. There are some theories or some statements that claim that they meet in a place. Some other people say that she would go to this kid's house and they would walk from there. Again, I'm not sure if they were meeting or if she was going to pick him up. But when Jessica didn't show up, the dad, realizing that his son was going to be late, he decided to drive him to school. And he thought that maybe Jessica went direct to school. Maybe she was running late or something, so he didn't call Jessica's mom to ask what happened to Jessica, why she didn't make it. At around 10 a.m., the school calls Jessica's mom to inform her that Jessica never made it to school that day. However, the mom had been working all night and was sleeping. The mom said that she checked out the college recently and that they wouldn't stop calling her at all hours. So she decided to leave the phone outside of her room when she was going to sleep, because she didn't want to be awakened by those random calls. And when she called back, she woke up, she called back to school, and or at least got the message. That is something that I'm not too clear about. Apparently she slept. There is one of the newspaper articles that I read said that she woke up and it was after Jessica was supposed to be home and she wasn't home. So she called the school. There's other theories that said that she woke up and she got the voicemail from the school, because that's what they did, just left a voice message. But I don't know which one is the right version, but regardless, it doesn't really matter to me. But I know for some of you, being exactly, correct, it does really matter. So, the police, she immediately called the police to report her missing. She didn't make it to school, she didn't make it back home. Where was she? Of course, she started looking around and she thought, well, I'm gonna check the park, I'm gonna check this and there. But immediately had to call the police. And they started their investigation. It was pretty standard, looking around the neighborhood and trying to retrace her steps. They also contacted the dad to see if maybe he took her, but the dad was actually in court for the child support that same day. And so he couldn't have been, in Colorado picking up Jessica. The process for looking for her was extensive, and for the next 2 weeks the police collected 700 DNA samples while covering the entire neighborhood. 2 days after Jessica disappeared, investigators found her backpack on a sidewalk in an area. It's called Superior. Apparently it said Vision, and inside the backpack they found her purple glasses. It was soaked with urine, but she had a jacket, socks, and some item clothing that were wet. And at that point, the police believed that Jessica was already dead. Finding the glasses, it was kind of a sign from whoever took her that she wasn't alive anymore. As far as the backpack, the police actually wasn't the one, they weren't the ones that actually found the backpack. Apparently, somebody dropped off this backpack in that sidewalk, in that area. I'm assuming it's the killer, of course. Who would have it otherwise? And so, this guy saw the backpack and decided to leave it there just in case. I don't know why. But he put it in a bulletin board in the area, the community area. And somebody, when they saw the backpack and they put together in the news and looking for Jessica and that kind of backpack, that's when they called the police. So it wasn't actually the police, and it was dropped off before the police found it, maybe a day before the police found it, or were given to. On October the 10th, Jessica's torso was found in two large bags, garbage bags, that were left along 82nd Street, just 9 miles away from her home. According to the police, they believe that the suspect wanted the backpack and her body to be found, and also these findings and strategies led the police to believe that they were dealing with an adult and obviously considering the death penalty. How can you even think about the death penalty when you can't even find the guy? I don't know, or you not can't, but you haven't found the guy yet. But oh well, I guess that's just standard procedure for the district attorney. The torso was clean, and when they looked for DNA, it took them 2 times to swab the body to find a partial DNA sample. And by the way, this matches a DNA sample that they collected before. I'm assuming that this DNA sample was found in the backpack. However, it didn't match any of the hundreds of DNA samples that they have collected from the area. On October 17th, the investigation expanded the search area, and only 2 days later, a woman called the FBI saying that she thought she knew who did it, and that they better look into this guy, apparently with the body. And remember that this is in pieces, so they found a cross, and in some of the newspapers articles that I read, it said that the cross area was on top of her vaginal area, so I don't know. According to the police, that was something that he did in order to throw them off, to kind of make them believe that this had something to do with a satanic thing or religious thing, something like that. The police look into the accusation of this lady and ask Austin Sig, which was the guy that she said that had a cross just like that one that they found in the body, for a DNA sample. He does, and claims that he was sleeping in his house when Jessica was kidnapped. He also was wearing a cross just like the one they found in Jessica's body, and the police asked him about, the cross, and he calmly answered all the questions, and the police left. They knew that he looked very suspicious, but they didn't have anything on him. His DNA, however, was sent with the others to try to find a match. On October 22nd, the media reported that there was a match in DNA between a jogger attack and Jessica's. Now, this jogger was a case where this guy tried to kidnap her, putting some chloroform in a rag and trying to take her, but she fought him off and, she ran away, but they did have some DNA. It was an assault case, and coincidentally it matched the DNA that was found on Jessica's body. That day, the same guy, Austin, was at school, and he started feeling sick. This is according to his classmates, of course, and even later the mom reported that Austin slept in her bed that night. The very next day, Austin told his mom that he had something horrible to tell her, and she asked him, so I'm assuming she had her suspicion, is this about Jessica Ridgway's death? She, there was an article that I read that said that that the mom was joking around with somebody. They were talking about the case of Jessica Ridgway, and they said, something to the extent that I'm hoping it wasn't Austin or Austin, So, maybe that's why that friend, maybe it was the same friend that called the FBI. I don't know. But isn't it alarming that a mom could think of that, understand why she thought of that in a little bit. I'm gonna go through this guy, but the mom called the police and asked them to send a police officer, well, telling the dispatcher that her son confessed of killing Jessica. That shocked the operator and the police itself. Remember that they were looking for an adult in this case. The 911 call lasted 20 minutes, almost 20 minutes. I'm not sure if it was 17 or 19. And the mom expressed how mad she was. I mean, she was mad at the dispatcher. She was mad at Austin. And the operator was trying to keep her talking until the police got there. And let me tell you, 20 minutes, it's a really long time. I don't care, 17, 19, 20 minutes, a really long time for an officer to show up to arrest a guy that is confessing to a murder. But, the operator, I mean, she was dispatching the people there, but she couldn't control how fast they were going to get, so she kept her talking, and she was very calm, and she was very understanding, and she was very, and I think that at one point the mom was so mad at the operator because she was like, where's the police? I mean, at the end the mom ended up crying with the operator, and also the operator asked her if they had firearms, if he was going to resist, that kind of thing. The police was still skeptical when they got there, but after Austin confessing for 6 hours, everything was super precise and graphic to be something that he made up in his mind. At the same time, they were also at his home removing the rest of Jessica's remains from his house. So, you can be really skeptical when you're finding the body of the little girl he's confessing that he killed, right? But it was strange that somebody that was only 17 years old could pull this off. Before he gave the details of how he did it, he described himself as a monster. He admitted to have sexual drive when he grabbed Jessica, but he said that he did not rape her. Then he said that was a lie, that he did rape her. The problem the police had was that the DNA sample that they got did not match. At least they thought so. Remember, they sent hundreds of swabs from people in the neighborhood, and when they were tested, they would send them back with just a label in an empty envelope, and that meant that it wasn't a match. But Austin was one of those envelopes that came, apparently, because this is a big contradiction, apparently came back that way to them, so they thought that it wasn't a match. They did a little bit more digging, which, by the way, they should have done from the beginning, and finally realized that Austin's sample got lost with a batch of other DNA sample and was never tested. They ordered an immediate test and confirmed that it was Austin's, and it matched the joggers and Jessica's. Now, I don't know why the empty envelope with the thing, but if they've never sent it, how they could have gotten one of those envelopes, I'm not sure. But I'm going through, different articles in a newspaper to put this story together, so it might be something different. Maybe they were just trying to stay tuned how that worked. I don't know, but they never sent it in. This is what he claimed that happened, okay? I'm gonna tell you the story according to this guy. However, keep in mind that this is what he said. And he confessed because, remember, when he was cool, he heard in the news that there was a match on the DNA, so I'm assuming that since he gave his DNA and thought that he cleaned everything and that they had nothing, I'm assuming that he thought that it was a matter of time until they came and arrested him. That's what I'm assuming. At this point, when he went into the police station, he thought that they had the was not enough forensic evidence to back up the story that he gave, but this is what he said that happened. When Jessica got out and she was playing with the snow down the block, where Jessica couldn't see him, there was Austin Sig in his parked Jeep. He saw Jessica making a snowball and walking towards him. She was going to the same elementary school that he used to go. He decided to wait until she was ready to cross the street. And when she reached the sidewalk, and he slapped on in the back of his Jeep, and he was trying to, kind of hide from her so she wouldn't see him. And when she got close enough, he jumped out of the car and grabbed her. Jessica, as she was taught, she screamed, but no one was around or close enough to hear her because of what happened. Because of what happened to Jessica after that. Again, this will remain a mystery, but let's talk about Austin before I move on and tell you what he did. Who is Austin? Well, Austin Sig lived around a mile away from Jessica's home. Sig's elementary school teachers describe him as a kind of caring kid. Remember, he did go to the same elementary school that Jessica was going or was attending at the time. At the age of 12, things started to change for him. Apparently, he started to watch pornography, and he started to watch kid-related stuff, which is sick. Makes me sick to think about it. He was sent to therapy, and according to Austin, the therapy didn't help much. He still continued to grow his addiction to it quietly. So much so that he started to look up violent images related to that. I don't even want to talk about it. I have the notes, the kind of thing, but you please think about the worst case scenario on that kind of content, and then that's the kind of content that he was looking for. Violent content. He later on developed, it just makes me sick to think about this. Adults looking up this thing, it will never make sense in my mind. He later on developed an interest on mortuary science, which for some people might be odd, but not alarming. It doesn't really alarm me because I knew the sweetest Mormon girl that worked with me that was studying that. And she had nobody in her family that studied that, but we were friends for quite some time, and she wasn't like talking about, she wasn't obsessing over it. That's what she studied, period. Like, I'm studying to be a teacher while she was studying that. So you can be a professional in that. We need those people. So for me, it's not that alarming. But if you combine that with the kind of things that he was dealing with mentally, I can see how it can be scary for the family and friends. Some of the alarming things, however, and this is from his younger brother. In one instance, Austin told his little brother that he was taking a class about how to get away with murder. One of Mindy's friends, which is Mindy's Austin mother, one of her friends also said that she recalled a conversation with Mindy where she joked about her son's interest in the body decomposition and how she helped Austin by restraining someone with zip ties. This was way before Jessica disappeared, but all those things are like red flags. And lastly, Austin's girlfriend claimed that he would spend the night every week at her house, but Austin's mom said that he would spend 4 nights away at night. Nobody knew where he was. Scary. He's almost an adult, but still, spending 5 weeks, 5 nights a week out of the home, that's pretty scary. Apparently, according to Austin, in the weeks before Jessica's death, he went hunting, quote unquote hunting, driving his jeep around different neighborhoods in the area. He said that every time he would see someone walking, his heart would start beating fast. Apparently, that was the drive he had. He wanted to feel that way. I mean, he wanted to feel that way for months. I mean, this was something that he was dealing with. And he tried to remember, I think it was 4 months before Jessica, he tried to kidnap this woman that was jogging at Kettner Lake. The idea, was that he was going to use the chloroform soak rag in her face and take her with him. However, she was an adult, so she did fight back and got free. If you look at this guy, he isn't an athletic guy either. I mean, he's only 17, and he's not the 17-year-old athletic kind of kid. So it made sense that a grown woman could get away from him. She called the police and gave a description of him, and they got his DNA, but it wasn't in the database, so he basically got away with it. Austin later on said that he learned from his first try, and he realized that he needed to grab somebody much smaller in order to get away with it. Someone he could overpower. Okay. That is only a small piece of Austin. This is just so you can have an idea the kind of guy he was. Now let's go back to Jessica. When he grabbed her, she was 1,000 feet away from her home, which, by the way, it's very common that kids disappear very, very close to home. He claimed that he never seen her before, but he jumped out of the jeep and pulled her into the back seat. He used zip ties in her hands and feet so she couldn't move. So he claimed that he'd never seen her before, but maybe, she was in the right place at the right time for him, which for me would be the wrong place at the wrong time. But I guess he was looking for a kid, and she was the one that was close by. It wasn't something, well, he claims that it's something he didn't plan to abduct her. Now, this is heartbreaking, but I'm gonna go through it as fast as I can. At that point, Jessica asked him who he was and if he knew her mom. Apparently, he didn't do anything to keep her quiet, so she continued to ask questions that Austin said. He claimed that he answered with lies. He even told her that she was going to go back to see her mom again, and that everything would be okay. They were just going for a ride. He drove around for a while. I don't know if he was thinking, this leads me to believe that he didn't plan the whole thing, that he was acting on an impulse and using the knowledge that he had to get away with it. Because apparently he did a lot of driving around with no destination in mind, but ended up going to his mom's house and parked the jeep inside the garage. He grabbed Jessica, carrying her to his room. Jessica loved animals. Oh my god, it breaks my heart to think about this, but so the first thing she sees, according to Austin, is that he has cats, and there are some litter boxes, so she asks about the kitties. She also at that point asked him if what he was going to do to her. So he cuts her zip ties from the wrists and put cartoon for her, assuring her that she was going to go see her mom. When they got to his room, he asked Jessica to change her clothes. Apparently, she peed in her clothes, and he wanted her to change into a white shirt these weren't the kids' clothes, it was his own clothes. And he put Jessica's clothes, with urine inside her backpack. Right after that, he asked her to turn away from him, and he strangled her. There is also something that I read about in another news article that said that he put Jessica's head underwater after that, just to make sure that she was dead. It also said that he put her inside the tub and he dismembered the body and hid it in the pool shed behind his house. So according to all of this that I just told you, Jessica was dead even before the mom called 911. Now, at this point, he is with the police, but he decided to confess to his mom. And I guess you can take this two different ways. Maybe he didn't feel guilty about what he did. Maybe he had that fantasy in his head that, oh, it was cool to do this because he was studying these things and he wanted to try it in a human. Maybe that was a fantasy, people have fantasies, and maybe that was his. And when he made it into something like, a reality, he realized what he did, and that's why he told his mom. But I remember that the day before he was at school and he heard on the news that they had a DNA match, so maybe he thought that he would give himself up before they caught him. Now he could have run too. He could have run, and I think that's when it shows that he was, I don't know if remorseful, or he was feeling guilty, or he was feeling like he did something wrong. But if you're somebody who's trying to get away with that, and you hear in the news that, they have a DNA match, and you would do whatever and just run, right? He didn't. I think that's when it hit him, what he did, and how horrible it was. Maybe he saw it in a third person kind of thing and realized what he did. Because Austin was 3 months away from being an adult when he killed Jessica, he was not eligible for the death penalty. But they made sure to build a strong enough case that he would never leave prison in his life. Now, I'm gonna close with this, and I'm gonna disagree, but authorities claim that despite the misplacement of the DNA sample, they were sure that was going to eventually be found and tested, and they would have figured it out. Anyways, so Austin confessing to this wasn't, according to the police, wasn't something that they weren't going to find out eventually. However, Austin pleads guilty and will spend the rest of his life in prison. I think this is a sad story overall, but it's also kind of, I don't want to say interesting, but maybe interesting to see how somebody with problems, because there's no way that this kid had some kind of problems. Maybe he had some kind of a mental illness. Maybe he was just, not really, he was just sick in a twisted way, and not really, we can't just blame a mental illness for everything that they do just because it's different of what we do. But it really makes me think and never come to a conclusion, because it did take this guy to confess in order to find him. At least he had a conscience and he did it. Again, he could have run, he didn't. he was a 17-year-old, and maybe you're like, well, maybe he didn't have the money. He could have gotten away with it. Maybe run for a while. But it's just one of those things that it throws you off. The police were looking for something completely different. An adult that was methodical, that it was, the profile that the police had was completely different of what the reality is. And I think that is the most scaring part of this case. Just thinking about how we think we know when we really, the human mind, it's really unique and different in each case. And we can learn a lot with percentages and things and science, but at the same time, this is the kind of case that throws you off and makes you wonder everything that you believe that the police have together and figure out. It makes me sad for, not only Jessica's parents and family and neighbors and teachers and friends, and she was stolen from this world so early. And I'm sure she's in a better place right now, but it didn't have to end this way. And Austin's family, whatever you think of his mom or whatever you think of his family, just try to put yourself in their shoes for just a minute and understand how hard it must be for them to, try to put together how he got away with this, how they didn't even realize what he did, and he did in, his mom's house. I think there was a red flag when he was addicted to child websites and stuff like that. It should have been, but it wasn't. I'm not blaming the parents, I'm not blaming anybody here. I'm just saying that maybe we can get something out of this, and I hope never you encounter a situation like this, or somebody like this, or a friend like this, but maybe there's a way to help other people that struggle with these things and prevent these horrible things to happen to little girls that have their entire life ahead of them. Thank you so much for listening to this video. My voice is cracking. So I'm gonna let you go, and I will see you back on Monday.